Okay, we went to Miami. The inequality will shock you from more perfect union. Okay, so what is going on in Miami?
Welcome to Miami, a city whose bright lights and tropical weather have attracted bachelorette parties and beachgoers since the dawn of time.
Okay.
Enjoy Miami.
But over the past 10 years, Miami's population of millionaires has nearly doubled,
Oh shit.
enticed by Florida's lack of taxes, out of
Oh wait. So wait, let me like all of these properties getting bought up and stuff. Like this is 2000. Like dang, dude. Like all out here is bought and stuff. Um, I mean, if you own like some of these properties that are like right on the precipice or right on the edge of the city, I mean, bro, you sell that thing, dang, you about to come into like a jackpot, like 777 book. Um, yeah, that's crazy. But what's also crazy is that honestly, I think so few people own the amount of people that own all these like fringe pieces of property is so few. It's not like a diverse amount of people own all this stuff. So it's like, oh, this property sold. So like one person, it's like, oh, one or two people probably own most of this stuff, or maybe not one, but like less than a handful of people probably own all of this stuff, and then all this stuff out here is like next in line, and then so on and so forth. I mean, it is what it is.
state billionaires are rapidly developing the city.
Yeah, I mean, you can see like all the little squares like growing. Like we're gonna prepare the property for something.
Hello, Miami, and hello, Florida.
So much so, its skyline is now the third tallest in the country, right behind New York.
I didn't know that third tallest skyline in the country, Miami. Holy shit, dude. That's crazy.
And Chicago. But while Miami is touting a new era for the ultra wealthy, the very people who build these skyscrapers.
You know what I love? I actually find it hilarious that it's not enough to just be wealthy. Like that's just like one adjective. You got to throw on something before it. You got to be like ultra wealthy, mega wealthy, super wealthy. Because that's the times we're living in. The wealth is so concentrated. It's only getting more concentrated. It's not like trickling down to like everybody else. It's staying, it's getting smaller and smaller.
Skyscrapers are getting left behind.
Imagínate cómo es de irónica la vida, porque somos los que construimos casa.
Because we're not the ones who, wait, let me read this. Imagine how ironic life is.
¿Cómo es de irónica la vida? Porque somos los que construimos
Because we're not the ones who build the houses. We build
Somos los
buildings.
que más sufrimos
We're the ones who suffer the most from paying rent.
por pagar una renta.
Miami developers are known for building big projects incredibly quickly, no matter what.
Yeah, all of the people that probably built all those like buildings are like H-1B visa bros or something like that, or shit, probably maybe even like illegal people. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I was gonna say like, whatever happened to like this image? Like, where's on skyscraper beans? I mean, am I misremembering this? I mean, are these people like not American or something? I mean, understandably, this is like all New York and whatnot, but like, I mean, I don't know, dude. Maybe, maybe my thought process was wrong for like, oh, all the American people are working on, but now it's like, all the H-1B visa people, or possibly even illegal immigrant. But I don't know. Maybe my thought process is wrong. All these guys are like recreating the thing. These guys are shitting themselves too.
Every 4 days in Florida, a construction worker dies on the job.
And workers are fleeing the state because of it.
Oh wait, so all these like ultra wealthy people want the buildings to be built, but the workers are just like, nah. If the conditions don't change, and this is an electrician speaking in Spanish, I'm obviously one of the people who won't stay where things are bad.
Yo soy de las personas que no se queda donde está mal. Yo me muevo.
Now,
I'll
with
leave.
the $3 billion urban redevelopment project on the line, one of the biggest in Miami's history, construction workers are fighting back. We went down to the 305 to figure out who will define the future of Miami's skyline. After 29 years of living in Seattle, Jeff Bezos
Bezos on the beach, Amazon founder, moves to Miami.
made an announcement in 2023.
Jeff Bezos posting on Instagram last night that he's leaving Seattle after nearly 30 years. He's going to move to Miami.
The move to Florida saved him around $1 billion in capital gains and personal income taxes. But Bezos wasn't the only 1%er moving to Miami. From 2012 to 2022, 38,000 millionaires, 160.
Oh dang, centimillionaires? What is, like 5 million or more?
Centimillionaires and 12 billionaires.
Or what was it? Centimillionaire. So is this 5 or 50 million? I don't know.
Moved into the city. In fact, Miami has more centimillionaires with second homes than.
Okay, what the fuck is a centimillionaire? Fine. Someone that has net worth of at least 10 or 100 million. Okay, Jesus.
Any other city in the country. And now it's one of the most unequal and unaffordable places to live. This massive accumulation of wealth didn't happen by accident. Let's go back to December 2020, nearly a year into the pandemic. Self-described village idiot Delian Asparuhov, a venture capitalist, tweeted, "Okay guys, hear me out. What if we move Silicon Valley to Miami?"
Dang.
Miami Mayor Francis Suarez responded a few hours later, "How can I help?" Suarez rolled out the welcome mat to every morally questionable financial institution in America.
Jeez.
You know, we in Miami believe that government should facilitate, not that government should dictate.
Lured by low taxes and little regulation, crypto companies, investment firms, and billionaire founders flocked to South Florida.
This crypto bull from
No way, this is a real thing. I guess it is. Like, holy shit. Crypto bull? Bro, this thing like looks like a damn Decepticon. I mean, it looks cool, but what it symbolizes is something completely retarded.
trade station really symbolizes how the gravitational center of gravity of the country has moved from San Francisco in venture capital and private equity in New York to the city of Miami.
Between 2020 and 2023, 105 financial firms relocated to South Florida, including the massive hedge fund Citadel and its billionaire CEO, Ken Griffin.
The men and women who serve in public office have a mindset of how can we help. It is a pro-get-it-done mindset that is often lacking in the northern cities.
As Miami quickly became Wall Street South, its skyline did too. Spurred by pro-development policies and regular changes that allowed buildings to be taller, luxury developers rushed to build.
Is this a real building?
There are currently more skyscrapers under construction in Miami than in every West Coast state combined. But for the workers constructing Miami's growth, the wealth hasn't trickled down.
I thought to myself, how is it, that the very workers who we rely on to build our housing here in Miami can't afford a roof over their own heads?
Jesus.
Zaina Al-Sus is a director at We Count, an organization fighting for better living and working conditions in South Florida. She's standing up for the people Miami has left behind, people like Arturo.
Lo más bonito, pues, Como siempre
The most beautiful thing, like I always say, is to see the building finished.
lo digo, es cuando el edificio se termina. Si me sacan un día, voy a ir al
Usually,
edificio,
when I have a free day, I go back to the building
me voy a sentar a tomar un café
to sit and have a coffee below to say,
abajo para decir, estas luces las hice
I made
yo
those
y
lights.
eso. Esa es la parte que me
That's the part I love,
encanta, el ver mi trabajo terminado.
seeing my work
Arturo has
finished.
been working as an electrician for the last 18 years across the U.S.
That's pretty
He
cool.
moved to Miami last year to be close.
It's like this is like something for like creators to see, like a creator type of thing, or and this part like kind of blends where it's like the part of like creation versus consumerism, like entertainment versus like this is a real job versus like this is just an entertaining job. Like building buildings is like, it's kind of like in this gray area of, yes, these are all like essentially pieces like of art, because you know it takes like an architect and like a gigantic amount of cooperation amongst like a huge amount of people to like be able to erect something like so massive or something like that. And in that sense it is art, but like it's like functional and it serves a purpose. So I don't know where I was going with this, honestly.
Closer to his family.
No tenemos el nivel de vida que
We don't have the standard of living that we should, and that
y no estamos
sucks.
pidiendo que
We're not asking for
que
a
sea
lot.
exagerado. No quiero vivir como los
We don't want to live like the developers by any means, but
desarrolladores ni mucho menos, pero por lo menos tener
at least to have average conditions for qualified workers like us.
las condiciones medias de un trabajador calificado como nosotros.
Lo de la renta de aquí de la Florida
The rent here in Florida,
es una exageración.
oh, he's a carpenter. It's
That's
ridiculous.
Candido Ariel, a carpenter who lives in Little Havana with his wife, daughter, and grandson.
Living in Miami is a luxury now. Like, that's actually crazy to think about. Like, the people that built the buildings are not making enough money to like be able to like live in Miami. It's like, it just goes to show you like where the priorities lie and what people value. I don't know, man. It's like, it's crazy to think about.
Ya vivir aquí en Miami ya es un lujo.
Since 2023, the average monthly rent of a two-bedroom apartment has risen over 21%. No major American metro area has seen such a steep rise.
We found that 8 out of 10 construction
And so what is this, like a month? From like 1900 up to like a little over 2300 a month. That's crazy.
No major American metro area has seen such a steep rise.
We found that 8 out of 10 construction workers who we talked to, mind you, on projects valued at $10 million or above, 8 out of 10 of these workers had struggled to pay rent in the last year.
Yo
Jesus.
estoy ganando menos.
I'm earning
que lo que yo
less
ganaba
than I earned 18 years ago. Holy. Like, well, what does that mean? Like, obviously, as like a trade type of person, like, what was this? He was like the electrician. Obviously, the longer you work, the better you get at your job. But I think he is speaking in terms of as his knowledge and experience progressed. Let me see if I can chart this out. Where's the paint one? Line, yellow. So, as his knowledge, as he got better at his job, let's say at like this rate, his pay probably did not also go up linearly. His pay probably went up like I don't know, at that rate. But what he wanted was his pay to go up, like, kind of, like, at least, like, somewhere closer to his, like, knowledge base and how good he is at his job. So I think that's what he means when he says I'm making less now. Or maybe he literally means back then I was making like 15 and I am still only making 15 an hour, as like an example. I don't know like actually like how much he's making or whatever.
Hace 18 años.
Because of the way the industry is currently organized, really around subcontractors, what it's created is essentially...
Oh yeah, so the whole thing with the subcontractors is that, you know, you got like an organization of people, they want to build a building, and then you have all these construction companies bidding, but it's like weird because like you think conventionally of like auction, it's like, oh, I'm going to pay more. I want to pay more for the car. I want to pay 30K, 40K, 50K. It's like reverse bidding. So it's like I can get, so all the like construction companies are like, I could build this for like 10 million in like 2 years or whatever. But then all the other competitive construction companies, they're all trying to stay like probably about on the same timeline, but they are just constantly undercutting until you reach like a point where it's like, well, I can't fucking do it for this much. I won't even be able to fucking survive. So that's the type of culture that is happening, I would imagine.
Actually a race to the bottom.
Yeah, race to the bottom.
The companies that get the contracts tend to get contracts because they can offer to do the work for the lowest price.
What did I just say?
And so those who suffer the most in this arrangement are the workers.
Unfortunately, their suffering doesn't stop at salaries.
You know, every 4 days in Florida, a construction worker dies on the job. And
Jesus.
That's completely related to the way in which labor standards have been degraded over time in the industry.
El trabajo de nosotros en la construcción es bastante difícil.
Our work in construction is very difficult. Yeah.
Tú te levantas
You wake up at 4:30, 4:40 in the morning.
A las 4:30, 4:40.
Because everybody that's seen construction knows that like nobody wants to be out there in the middle of the day when it's hot as fuck, especially in Florida, especially like Florida alone sucks ass enough because it's so hot, but even like southern Florida where it's like even closer to the equator, it's even more hot.
40 de la mañana y te vas. Tú no sabes si
and you go like you don't know if you're going to come back.
Yo he visto muchos accidentes.
I've seen many accidents
de personas
and people who lose their lives in construction.
Que pierden la vida en la industria de la construcción.
In 2024, Candido Ariel worked on Block 55, a mega project for industry titan Swerdlow Group. He fell 4 floors trying to remove an anchor from a parking lot pillar, suffering bruises across his entire upper body. He was sent to a company-owned clinic to recuperate.
Jesus. The doctor just checks you and says, you're fine, just go home. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Vete para tu casa. Solo te quedan bien.
They just look at you where you got hit and they say,
Donde te golpeaste y dices, está bien.
You're fine, go on, go back to work.
Va a trabajar.
There's a lot of pressure in the construction.
That's some fucking bullshit, dude. Are you kidding me? And you want to like live in America and you want to make a shitload of money and say that's the kind of healthcare that you provide? What the fuck, dude?
Construction industry for contractors to move from project to project. This includes asking or requiring workers to work long hours. When you add into it outdoor work, especially during the summer months, when the heat has been so intense, this also has an impact on workers' health and safety and their ability to protect themselves when the pace of work is increasing.
It is a South Florida scorcher. It is so hot outside and there's not many ways to beat the heat.
Sometimes in the morning, it's 100, 105, 110 degrees. Yep.
Tal vez la temperatura a 100.
Yeah, I would imagine like working in the summer in Florida is absolutely just dog shit.
105, 110.
80% of construction workers in South Florida who we surveyed didn't receive
80% didn't receive any heat safety training.
any kind of heat safety training. People can die. They can pass out. They can experience really severe illnesses, kidney failure.
Hay muchas compañías
There are a ton of companies that don't have a place
de que no tienen un lugar donde tú puedas
where you can
descansar.
rest.
Donde si tú te da un golpe
If
de
you have
calor,
heat stroke or
si
if you
te
feel
sientes mal,
bad,
no tienen directamente una
you don't
clínica
directly have a
en
clinic
el
on
proyecto
site
donde
where
tú
you can
puedas- que te
recover.
puedan llevar, te puedan a recuperarte.
While pay is unjustifiably low for these jobs, even in the safest conditions, workers like Arturo and Candido are lucky if they even get to see that money reach their wallets.
Jesus.
31% of the qualifying Miami construction workers we count surveyed didn't receive the overtime pay they deserved.
Hay gente que ha venido y nunca
There are people who have come and never been to any other state,
no ha salido de otro estado, solo aquí en la Florida o en Miami.
only to
para ser
Florida or Miami
específico, y
specifically,
ellos no saben qué
and they
cosa
have
es
no
overtime.
idea
Y vos sabes que ese es un
what
robo.
overtime is. You know that is theft. Yeah,
Es un robo a todas luces
it's clearly theft no matter how you look at it.
por donde lo mires.
I think that if you're going to turn construction into an industry in which people are being forced to risk their lives for poverty wages, I think we're going to be in for a rude awakening when these worker shortages only continue to expand.
Ya no tengo edad para estar
I'm not of the age to be moving around, but
moviendo, pero las condiciones laborales sí me empujarían
the labor conditions would push me to do it.
a moverme.
As the pace of building intensifies in Miami, developers are struggling to find workers. But instead of addressing the problem, industry leaders and politicians are doubling down on the policies that created it. The leading construction industry lobbying group, the Associated Builders and Contractors, or ABC, came out with a report last year.
Ranking of state construction environments. The best? Oh, well, this is a fucking lie. Are you kidding me? Oh, yeah, like there's no intentions right here. The best places to ranking of state construction environments. It's so good. The environment in Florida is so good. It's like, what is it, like the higher you go, the colder it is, the worse construction the environment is? The construction environment is terrible. It doesn't even make sense, like geographically. Like California is like a good length up and down, so it's like you got like some hot down here and then you got some cold up there, but like not, that doesn't even make sense. What, like the higher you go the worse it is, because like that's like the worst. Up here's worst. I mean, up worst, but like what's the trend? Like down south is like the best. The closer to the equator, the hotter it is, the better. Like, what does this mean, best, worst? Based on what? This ranking system, this tier list is supremely fucking retarded.
That celebrated Florida as one of the top states in the country for construction. Its rationale? Florida's low wages, lack of safety standards, and laws that make it harder for workers to unionize.
Oh, wow. How great. If you want to build something, you could probably get it built in Florida. Wow.
No estoy tan
What an American dream.
enterado de los sindicatos.
I'm not exactly sure how many unions are here in Florida,
De cuántos sindicatos hay aquí en la Florida, pero los que hay,
but the ones that are
sí sé que
here,
son débiles.
I know that they are weak, because if I'm not in one, that means they're not strong. Jeez.
Porque si no me he enterado, quiere decir que no tienen fuerza.
Trade union membership in South Florida is now at an alarmingly low 7%, down 60% over the last 30 years.
I mean, just a couple more percents and there won't be any more unions, and it's just a constant race to the bottom, and all of these gigantic buildings, multiple tens of stories high, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 story buildings, however much. You would think they would be built for like hundreds of millions of billions of dollars, but no, You could actually get one of these buildings out of a gumball machine it costs to make. It's so low. The race to the bottom is so steep and happens so fast, I would imagine. Yeah, somebody dies. We'll just get another one in there. They're easily replaceable. All the construction stuff, yeah, that's nothing.
All of this is by design. Industry groups like ABC have spent tens of millions of dollars lobbying for this reality.
Because developers have been able to amass such enormous amounts of wealth in this country, which has then, led them to being able to donate millions of dollars to political campaigns. It unfortunately does set up a kind of pay-to-play dynamic and system.
And Miami's Mayor Suarez is not naive to this system.
So what we know now is that Mayor Francis Suarez was getting paid $10,000 a month for at least a period of almost 2 years.
$10,000 a month for 2 years. So quick maths, 10,000 a month times 2 years. So per month. Okay, so times 2. Oh, almost $250,000 for 2 years.
By a developer, Rishi Kapoor.
I'm done. Thank you. I'm done.
In fact, Suarez has received over $2.5 million in donations from the development, construction, and real estate industry over the course of his career to
Oh, wow.
do the bidding of developers.
Oh, wow. For the donations. Just donating. Oh.
He got another $1 million from Republican mega donor Ken Griffin when the billionaire was planning to relocate his hedge fund to Biscayne Bay.
Well, like the billionaires, they just throw around like $1 million like it's a penny or $1. That's crazy, man.
Hey.
When you face a...
Whatever happened to like... Maybe this is going to sound stupid, but like whatever happened to like the kids and the parents, or like that saying where it's like, I want to teach my kid the value of money or something like that. And then to just see like, I don't know, millionaires, billionaires, just this is why like all these people are like alien to me. It's crazy, man.
A deluge of bureaucracy and waiting for permits and waiting for a meeting and waiting for this and waiting for that. It really kills the entrepreneurial life of a business. And it's such a contrast to be here in South Florida where you can make some pretty amazing things happen. And you can...
I mean, understandably, if, I'm not up against like trying to streamline the permit process and trying to figure out, number one, I have no idea what it is involved in trying to, I don't know, like get a permit for like a gigantic building like that, what is involved, how long it takes and whatnot. But I mean, I'm all up for updating the system in some way, shape or form, put in a patch, put in a hot fix, figure out what's taking so long and try to improve on it.
You can do it really quickly.
Workers may not...
I mean, I don't know to make it like so quick. I don't know about making it so quick, but jeez.
Have the money to compete with billionaires like Griffin, but they are beginning to fight back. The Swerdlow Group's proposed redevelopment plans in Little Haiti and Little River.
Swerdlow Group unveils $3 billion mixed-use public housing vision for Miami's Little River and Little Haiti neighborhoods.
Are monstrous. A 65-acre multi-use property, including a train station. It is...
Oh. So is this what is happening? I'm gonna whip out this again. Bang. And then just gonna need a brush, make it yellow. So remember how like a top-down thing of like an old-timey, well not old-timey, but like a fantastical like a city used to be, where it's like usually a king or queen sits in like on builds their castle on like the highest hill. And like, let's say the hill. Wham. That's the hill. And then here's the castle. Woohoo, castle. Woohoo. It's a castle. Oh, Jesus, I can't draw. It's like, yeah, castle. whatever. Okay. And then this is like the most impressive piece of structure. It's like, oh yeah, this is so cool. And then what happens, you have like your layers of people, your classes of people. You'll have like the big churches or whatever, those type of buildings, like some middle ground type of peoples, like tax collectors and stuff like that. What else? And then like out on the outskirts, you will probably have like the little tiny plebeian houses, stuff like that. And then probably like further out, you'll have like farms and stuff with all the animals and all that jazz. This is what I think is happening. It's like, ooh, church. Wow. What's this? Like, oh, dang, tax. There's a little door. And it's like all the little mud huts and plebeians are still out here. But, you know, this is what I think, or it feels like is happening. And it's just like, some people maybe are trying to like live over here. Or I don't even know if like that's even the right thing to say. Because like, is it even happening? Or am I just like wrong?
Is the white whale of Florida commercial developments.
We're literally building South Florida.
Sin trabajadores de construcción, no hay edificios, no hay apartamentos.
There's no apartments, and without apartments and buildings, there's no progress.
No hay edificio, no hay progreso.
We Count and its members, alongside over 25 unions and community organizations, are insisting on a collective bargaining agreement for the project that addresses a living wage, responsible contracting, independent monitoring, and on-site urgent cares. We Count is also proposing to combine these urgent cares with cooling centers to combat the extreme heat, as Miami summers just get hotter.
La lucha no para ahí.
Jesus. The fight doesn't stop. It would be a great step to do it with Michael Swerdlow.
Este es el primer paso. Sería grandioso si logramos con Don Michael Swerdlow. De ahí la lucha sigue.
While negotiating a contract
on such a
De ahí
the
la
fight
lucha
goes
sigue.
on.
While negotiating a contract on such a behemoth development is a step in the right direction, the industry will need a larger overhaul to guarantee institutional change.
But I would imagine on that $3 billion plot of mixed-use land, who do you think is still going to be building all of those houses and shit? Probably the same people.
Change.
And it's going to be incumbent on government enforcement agencies to closely monitor construction work sites to ensure that the health and safety rules and regulations are being followed.
I mean, where were those same organizations when they were building all of those like big ass buildings? Now all of a sudden, what, they're gonna come in and scrutinize like building of like that on top of that $3 billion plot of land, $3 billion plot of land?
Now, advocates have long criticized our existing wage and hour laws in this country as not having sufficient penalties against violators. In many states, we have a situation where the penalty is just to pay the workers what they were owed. That is.
Oh wow, what a penalty. You know what that feels like? In sports, for football, baseball, basketball, golf, hockey, whatever, none of the penalties are ever like fitting for whatever happened in the sports thing. Like, and so like in the case of like cheating and whatnot, like, yeah, I've heard like in football, like players have been I don't know, penalized for like X amount of games for like the rest of the season or something like that. Like, oh, you got caught cheating like so bad, or you fucked up so bad in a way, you can't play. It's not possible to play. Like the one thing that people will respond to is like them being hit where it hurts the most. And that's like in the pocket. Like, and sports does a great job of glazing over penalties for like cheaters in sports because the fines and the fees are so like minuscule. It's like hilarious. It's an embarrassment of a sport. Like, people will cheat way less if the penalties and the enforcement of the rules is just like, it's so great. Same thing for all of this construction stuff.
Is not a sufficient deterrent to those employers that willfully are denying workers the payment for the work that they've completed.
Like, put in some significant fees or like penalties that are just so great and massive. It's like you wouldn't even think of breaking one of these rules. Like, have some fucking balls and enforce it. Jesus.
And so we need much more targeted enforcement efforts.
The Trump administration's response to these issues remains to be seen.
A Trump idles National Labor Retaliations Board with 2 firings and other labor news.
However, his recent firings don't bode well for workers at large.
What Trump did is essentially neuter the National Labor Relations Board. So right now, union-busting corporations like Amazon and others can do what they do against workers with impunity.
You know, on a more optimistic.
I mean, Boston Dynamics needs to hurry up and make some of these, needs to make those humanoid robots, because there is just too much bullshit happening with like people and like working conditions and shit like that. Like, 100%, dude, like, just hurry up and make those damn humanoid robots. Let the robot do the thing. Fuck it. You know, at that point, when Boston Dynamics humanoid robots take over all the construction jobs and shit, something I would imagine will happen and to just change the overall United States economy. I mean, I can't fucking talk about anything, but it's like, hurry up. Better. Where's that robot, Boston Dynamics?
To note, we do see workers continually trying to organize their workplaces in the construction industry. And we see the emergence of a range of workers' rights organizations that are helping those workers advocate for their rights, both in terms of health and safety on the job and also in terms of wage and hour violations and getting rid of wage theft.
There's a lot of irony in this story, but perhaps the simplest irony of all is that if these bad actors were held accountable, then the workforce that is rapidly fleeing to find better conditions elsewhere might actually want to stay and build.
Porque los trabajadores de la construcción
In construction work, we have rights.
tenemos derecho. Así como
As hard as we work, we have rights.
trabajamos, tenemos derecho. Ocupan nuestras manos
We use our hands to develop.
para desarrollar. Que ocupen las de ellos para
Let them use theirs for our benefits.
Thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please like the video and subscribe to get more Perfect Union in your feed. And if you have any stories or ideas that you would like for us to look into or cover, leave one in the comments below.
I do think they're crazy.
Oh, okay. Dang, I had no idea the construction industry in Miami was that crazy. That is...
Welcome to Miami.
YouTube, fix your damn buttons. Oh my God. Yeah, I had no idea the situation over there was like that. I mean, that super sucks for everyone over there. And it's like, I mean, on one hand, I could say like, oh, if you don't like your job, just quit. But the reality is like it's just a race to the bottom for the industry. It's like, oh, who do we get? We can just ship in some more people to like build these buildings. But I don't know. That just seems like wrong. I don't know. Like, why wouldn't you just pay the guys like the correct fee that they want? Like, I don't know. I'm not a billionaire. I don't know no better. Advocating for the worker. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm the retard. Overall, cool video. Very revealing. But yeah, I mean, hopefully it'll get better, but chances are probably not. Yeah, keep them coming, man. But overall, I mean, that's pretty much it. I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, later.